Good morning, students. Today, on a fresh morning, I, Anil Kumar Swain, your class teacher for class 7th A, I will teach you SST today. So, what was the previous chapter in geography? Today I will teach you geography. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that the first chapter was our environment, and now I will teach you interior of the earth, and the subtopic is the rocks and minerals. Students, in the first chapter, we studied about our environment. We came to know that the word environment is taken from a word called environment, means which surrounds us, which covers us. That is called environment. But students, today we will study about interior of the earth. In the previous chapter also, students, I will like to remind you that there are three layers or the three spheres of the earth. The first one, what was that? The first one was lithosphere, the second one was hydrosphere, and the third one was atmosphere. As we know that the earth or the surface of the earth in which we live, that is called the lithosphere, and it contains the surface, mountains, plateaus, everything. Hydrosphere means the water bodies, and atmosphere we all know the air enveloping all around us. Students, here I want to tell you that what is interior of the earth. Then an example has been given for you in the page number G94. That you all know that have you eaten a watermelon? This is the summer season. You must have enjoyed it. It means very tasty. So the construction of the watermelon is as such that we can understand the layers of the earth. There are three types of layers of the earth. The first one is crust, and the second one is the mantle, and the innermost is the core. So students, if you will see the watermelon, the upper part is greener. Then if you will cut it through it, then we will know that there is a white color layer. Then the red fleshy part which we eat. There are seeds also, but we will not take seeds into consideration. Let's take the greener part as crust, the white part as the mantle, and the red fleshy part as the core. Students, so how we can compare it? By watching it carefully. Then in the pic also it is given the green part as the crust, then the mantle, then the core. Then what is the crust? The first of all, here I have written three layers of the earth. The first one is crust, the second one is mantle, the third one is core. Friends, what are the three parts? The first of all, we will know that just like the hard outermost green part of the watermelon, the earth has a top layer. It is called the crust. Students, the first part we study about, that is the upper part in which we live, that is called the crust. The crust is the uppermost layer over the earth's surface. It is the thinnest. Thin means patla. In Hindi we can say thinnest of all the layers. About 35 km on the continental mass and only 5 km on the ocean floor. Then it is just the area of the crust. But students, the second one is the mantle. Oh, what is mantle? Mantle is the layer just below the crust. The mantle lies just beneath the crust and extends up to a depth of 2900 km. Students, remember 2900 km. But while the crust is the thinnest of all the three layers. Then students, finally the red fleshy part of the watermelon which we eat, that is compared with the core. So what is core? The innermost area of the earth is called the core. Finally the red fleshy part, as I have told you, is called the core. This core is the innermost area of the earth, or the layer of the earth. Its radius is about 3500 km. The central core has very high temperature and pressure. Students, I will give you an example. Have you ever See, if a well means kuwa in Hindi, is dug in your home, you must have noticed that as the laborers they dig the earth deeper and deeper, they get sweating as much as they can. More sweat, more deeper. It means if they go more deeper, they get more sweat because students, there is a high temperature inside the earth. Volcano, we have seen volcano how it evolves from a mountain means the extensive pressure and heat throws all the magma out of the volcano. That is called, students, about the three layers of the earth. Then students, in the chapter environment, it was divided into two parts. In the previous chapter we have already studied the natural environment and the biological environment. Students, natural and biological environment means the natural things which we see all around us, that is called the natural environment. And the biological, what is the biological environment? All the living organisms along with the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, that is also known as the biosphere, the narrow zone of contact between all the spheres of the earth, all the realms of the earth, and that is called the biosphere. Students, having learnt certain basic facts about the earth, let us now try to know some facts about the interior of the earth, how it is really made up of. I have given a slight information, but the main information from where it comes from. The sources of information, from where it comes from. The first one can be mining and drilling. Students, you know mining. Mining means khudai karna. Mines. There are different types of mine. It may be limestone, coal, diamond, gold, everything. What comes after excavation, that is extraction, then that is called mining. Mining, drilling, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes are some of the sources of information about the interior of the earth. Students, mining and drilling does not provide much information because mines are not very deep. They are just 3 to 4 kilometers deep. You have seen in films, in some different serials also, but they are not so deep. They are open pit mines, but they are just 3 to 4 kilometers. They can't go deeper inside it. It will prove fatal to them. Then what about the other sources? Then going beyond this depth is not possible because it gets hotter and hotter, as I have told you, as we go down. But volcanic eruption is the most vital and paramount information about the surface of the earth. It is a limited source of information because it can only tell us about the nature of the material, but the modern material which comes out from the volcanic eruption, that is called the magma. When it is solidified or in liquid form, it is very hot, but when it solidifies, the researcher, the scientists try to get inside it and do some research and try to know that what the earth has carried, what our mother earth has beneath her. Then they do this by by the magma which comes out from the volcanic eruptions. However, this cannot help us to know the depth of the earth because they can just tell about the physical and chemical properties about the earth, from the magma. Students, then will come the next topic. Then most of our knowledge about the interior of the earth is largely based on the behavior of the seismic waves or earthquake waves. Students, seismic or earthquake waves are the waves generated by earthquakes, originating from the focus of the earthquake. These waves travel in all directions and at different speeds. The speed of these waves depends on the density of the material. They pass through the density, and in turn it depends on the nature of the material. Then students, what can we get from this density of the waves? The interior of the earth. We indicate that the interior of the earth is made up of different materials. the density of materials gradually increases from the surface towards the earth. Students, then these were some of the sources of the earth, but now we will go further about in detail about Earth's interior. The first one, as I have told you, is the crust. So Earth's interior on the basis of density and different physical and chemical properties of the material. Earth is roughly divided into three concentric layers. The first one is crust, the second is mantle, the third is core. So what is the crust all about? The outermost solid part of the earth is called the crust. It is also known as the lithosphere. Students, remember one thing, lithosphere. The first most important thing, the crust is also known as the lithosphere. Next, students, it is the thinnest of all the layers, as I have told you earlier. Then it is about 35 km on the continental mass and only 5 km on the ocean floor. It is made up of many kinds of rock. The uppermost part of the earth is made up of rocks, and different types of minerals are also present there. Students, as I have told you that crust is also known as the lithosphere. As I have told you that there are three spheres of the earth. The first one is the lithosphere, on which we live. The uppermost layer of the crust is formed of rocks and soil, as I have told you earlier, few minutes ago. The main elements of the continental crust are silicon and aluminium. Students, silicon and sometimes known as CR. The combination of both these elements, the crust is also known as the CR. The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. The oceanic crust. Okay, students. Then we'll move further. Then next one is the mantle. I can say the mid part, the middle portion of the earth, that is called the mantle. The layer below, just below the crust of the earth, is known as the mantle. The mantle extends up to an average depth of 2900 kilometers. Students, as I have told you that the crust is the thinnest part of all the layers of the earth, but the mantle has an average depth of about 2900 kilometers below the crust. Then the main elements of the mantle are silicon and magnesium. Students, silicon and magnesium. SiMa. Si stands for silicon, Mx stands for magnesium. Okay, students, this is a transitional zone of mixed metals and minerals. Students, if the earth is dug till the mantle, then we can find different types of metals and minerals inside the earth. Metals and silicates. Then, students, will move further to the next part in the peak. As I will draw you a peak. Before that, I have told you that look at the peak. Students, if this is the layers means the earth, then this is the core. If this is the earth, layers of different earth, then I will tell you that the inner core. This is the inner core. This is in solid form. We will read it further. Then, students, what about that is the outer core. Outer core. Then this is in the liquid form. Then, students, the first one I have told you that this is the crust. This is mantle. Students, by this we can have an overlook about the layers of the inner core, outer core, crust and mantle. Students, we will move further to the next section, that is for the crust. Students, one of the most important layers of the earth, that is called the core. The part of the earth beyond the mantle and ground center is called the core. It is the innermost of the earth with a radius of about 3500 kilometers. 3500 kilometers, which it is deep inside the earth. It is divided into two parts. The first one is the outer core, and the second part is known as the inner core. It is divided into two parts. The first one is the outer core and the second one is the inner core. The outer core is in liquid form, as I have told in the explained in the diagram. The outer core is in a liquid form while the inner core is a solid state. The core is made up of very heavy materials, mostly nickel and iron. Students, as in the previous two layers, the mantle was known as Sima, the crust was known as Sial, the core is known as knife. NiF is knife. Ni stands for nickel, Fe stands for iron. Students, it must be amazing, very surprising that sir, iron must stand from IR or ION, whatever it may be, but it has an atomic name. The chemical name of iron is ferrum. That is called Fe written there. That is why Fe is written there. The temperature of the layer is about 2200 degrees Celsius to 5000 degrees Celsius. Just imagine the temperature inside the earth, near about 5000 degrees Celsius, just like the sun. Then students, we will go to the temperature inside the earth. We will have a small review, a brief discussion. From the volcanic eruptions, it is evident that the temperature of the inside of the earth is very, very high. In the underground mines, the temperature increases as we go deeper. It is directly proportional to the depth. It means that the temperature at the core is very high, very, very high. Therefore, materials of the metal are in a molten state, and this molten material is called the magma, which comes out from the volcanic eruptions from different places like mountains. Okay, friends, it is very, very high. The temperature is very high. The core behaves like a solid dust to the pressure exerted on it by the upper layer. Students, then we will move further to the rocks and minerals. Students, my next topic is the rocks and minerals. Then what are rocks? Have you ever seen rocks? Then can we distinguish between them? And this is a type of rock, that is a type of rock. No, we can't distinguish. We will first have to study about that. That the crust of the earth, or the uppermost part of the earth, mainly contains mountains, plateaus, plains area. Isn't it, friends? And what type of mountain it is, and what the rock is made up of, then we must know, and how it has been evolved from the earth or naturally, or from the oceans or whatever it may be, friends. Then, what is a rock? The rock is a piece of earth. Students, I read the definition. A rock is the rock is a piece of earth, mostly made up of different types of minerals. Mixture of minerals. Friends, a rock is a piece of earth mostly made up of a mixture of minerals, because due to the presence of minerals, it is very hard. This is not just earth, it is not just the mud, not just the mitti we can say, but it is the mixture of minerals, it becomes harder. Then students, minerals are, what are minerals? Minerals are chemical constituents of a rock. Minerals are chemical friends, what are minerals? Minerals are chemical constituents of rocks. Friends, now we can differentiate between them. Then rock is a piece of earth mostly made up of a mixture of minerals, but minerals are chemical constituents of rock. Then what happens? What is the other differences? There are some chemical and physical properties. They differentiate between these two, and there are different types of rocks. Students, we'll read it further. There are three different types of rocks. The first one is igneous rocks, the second one is sedimentary rocks, and the third one is the metamorphic rocks. We'll read it out further. Then students, what about the different types of rocks?